We're going to have a flyover. We're going to do this. We're going to roll out the flag. We're going to do everything. Stop it. Okay? Flip a coin, kick off. Let's move on. All right? This is bullshit.
This could all go horribly wrong at any minute.
Hello, and welcome to the 210th edition of Lewis Black's Rantcast, entitled Idiot's Delight. Yes, and it truly is. It's the one of my favorite titles of a play and then a movie. It was written by Robert Sherwood back, I believe, in the 30s. And I read it then. I've read it. And probably saw the movie, and I would love to give you the plot, but my memory is slipping and sliding at best, and certainly when it goes way, way back in terms of all the plays that I've read. I just always delighted in the title. I just think it's a great title, Idiot's Delight. And it certainly describes the time that we're in, where certainly you've got to be an idiot to take delight in what is happening around us. And let's start with one of the most idiotic openings of a Super Bowl I've ever seen. They just can't pack enough shit out there, as if they're the fucking Vatican, okay? Stop with the self-importance, National Football League. Just stop it, okay? Please, get a grip. All right, now it's like being you're not the Vatican, okay? You're not the Catholic Church in all of its splendor, okay? You are not keeping up in Canton at the Hall of Fame. You're not keeping the fingers of the bones of some of our greatest players. So get a grip on this, okay? Stop with this kind of holier than thou attitude that you bring to your nonsense and your bullshit. We're there to watch a game, all right? Played by men, a boys' game, played by men. Stop it. Let us enjoy it. Take joy in it. We're going to have a flyover. We're going to do this. We're going to roll out the flag. We're going to do everything. Stop it. Okay? Flip a coin, kick off. Let's move on. All right? This is bullshit. In every way, shape, and form, you do everything that you possibly can to destroy something that I certainly love. And I know that this is driving others crazy. I am sure of it, because it is just too fucking much. And then you take out for the game, for the Super Bowl. Is it because, Magic Man showed up and it was the first president to come see a Super Bowl? You're going to end racism out of the end zone? Because I guess it's over. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, NFL, for ending racism in the end zone. Only place in the United States where racism has come to an end. Yes, sirree. And if you want to be in a safe space, okay, wherever you are, get yourself as quickly as possible to any end zone anywhere where racism does not exist anymore. Thank God they did it. They did it. Oh, wow. And I'm surprised they didn't have a moment where they just packed all sorts of diverse people of all forms, shapes, colors, whatever, and brought them into the end zone and packed them in there like sardines and celebrated the end of diversity in this country. Just let's get it down to let's knock it out of the park, okay? Unbelievable. It's actually one of the greatest lines ever written about this racism in the end zone. Shirley Povich. I was lucky enough as a kid that Shirley Povich was the sports writer for the Washington Post, one of the great sports writers of our time. I started reading him when I was really very young, and just a brilliant writer who knew how to take sports to a whole other level. Father of Maury Povich, and Shirley Povich had one of the greatest lines, I think, ever written by a sports writer. And boy, when I was younger, there were some truly great ones, and he was certainly one of them. And this is what he had to say. You have to understand that the team that I rooted for at the time was the Washington Redskins. Yeah, I know. Now the Commanders, great idea, Commanders. I won't even go into that now. You see, George Marshall was the owner, and he was, racist. He was not going to hire folks of color, if you will. He was not going to hire anyone who was black to play football. So we were awful as a result. Yeah, we were just awful. And teams around the league were doing this already, not us. We were the holdout. And Jim Brown was playing against us. And this is what Shirley Povich wrote about Jim Brown that day when they played at Washington. Jim Brown, born ineligible to play for the Redskins, integrated their end zone 3 times yesterday. How good is that? Integrated their end zone, the end zone of the Washington Redskins, the team that Shirley Povich really was kind of leaning toward, being someone who was writing for the Washington Post. I'll read that again because it's so good. Jim Brown, born ineligible to play for the Redskins, integrated their end zone 3 times yesterday. Wow. He was playing for the Cleveland Browns, by the way, for those of you who don't know that. And so Jim Brown had ended racism in his own fashion, as reported by Shirley Povich in the Washington Post. So years before, and they should have brought that up yesterday. The other day at the Supper Bowl. Yep, it started 6:30. Let's be sure to eat. And by God, the commercials and the importance of them at $8 million a pop. Seriously. And we worry about where money goes in this country. And he's cutting off as we speak federal funding. But not a problem, $8 million to be sure that we're gulping down Dunkin' Donuts. Huh? Gulping down that coffee, boy. Oh, there's Jeremy Strong coming out of a whole batch of beans and stuff. Boy, unbelievable. That we don't mind dropping a dime there, do we? But boy, when it comes to helping, we're going to clean things up. We're going to make sure we're not losing a goddamn fucking dime. First and foremost, let me just take a moment to apologize to all of you who had tickets for any of my shows in January and February. It was way beyond my control. The fact that I did have to cancel, I would go into that. It's not worth your time. It's not worth my time. And it certainly will not make up for the fact that I couldn't be there. And nothing, and I'll be honest with you, I understand how difficult it is for you to make plans and do all of the things that you need to do in order to see me. And let me just say, it takes a ton on our end to be sure that I can actually get out there to see you, and I have failed, and I am sorry. And this has happened too often in the past number of years, and it really makes me sick. And so if there's any way we can help from our end to make it possible for you to see a show, to make up for a show by you coming somewhere else or whatever, please let us know. In the meanwhile, I'm hitting the road again in March. Hopefully, I'm hitting the road again in March. Let's hope that on March 6th, I will be at the Villages at the Sharon L. Morse Performing Arts Center. I will not be retiring there. Okay, so let's get that straight. March 7th, I will be in Jacksonville, Florida at the Florida Theater. I will then go on to Clearwater on March 8th at the Ruth Eckerd Hall. And then on March 11th, on to the Van Weasel. Yes, that's right, the Van Weasel, which is in beautiful Sarasota, Florida. Then Stewart on March 13th, and Stewart, Florida at the Lyric Theater, March 14th. We end things up at the Fort Myers, Florida, Barbara Mann. So we're out of Florida then. March 21st, Toronto, Canada. But who knows, I could be staying there. And certainly March 22nd at the Olympia in Montreal, Canada. And that's what I got for you. Hopefully you will get to see me. Hopefully I will get to see you. And thank you for understanding the difficulties on my end. And speaking of that, I will give credit where credit is due, which is to stop with the pennies. All right, that was a good move. We were spending 2 cents, 4 cents, whatever it was, to create a penny. It was ludicrous. All right, and God knows what it'll cost us in the end. I'm sure. I've already started to read some stuff. Am I going to talk about it? No, but I do admire the fact that that is waste. Okay, and we moved on from that, and that was a good move on his part. But I cannot keep up with the idiots who are delighting in what the fuck is just a bombardment of nonsense, bullshit, hoo-ha. It just is endless, and you can't keep up with it. And now it goes to the courts, and then J.D. Vance goes, well, if the courts can't step on the presidential powers. Yes, the courts can. That's why the courts are fucking there. Are these people? Do they read a goddamn fucking civics book? Okay? They are delineated powers between the Congress and the president and the judicial. All right? And the judicial sits there and they read the goddamn Constitution and have to turn to who's ever in the White House and go, hey, here's the line, fucknut, and you can't cross it. The funding that he is stopping, okay? It's already been voted for. It's already been done. It was already in motion. He don't get to stop it, okay? If it hadn't happened, he could do that. He could tell the Republicans and the Democrats in Congress, I don't want this to go out. We're not going to vote on that. It's not going to happen. We're going to have to change that budget. I'll veto it. No, but you don't stop the funding that is absolutely necessary for a ton of shit in this country. You're going to tear apart the USAID, the Agency for International Development. $40 billion budget. Nothing. And where's former President George Bush? You can't stand up and speak up for the USAID thing that he did in Africa, which is huge. I haven't heard him say anything. You can't pull this shit. Nothing has come out of his mouth. Maybe I missed it. In literally what is a massive blowback every day coming out of his, I won't even go there. No. You think about it. You go there on your own. It's just too much. It really is. The United States Agency for International Development. Well, they paid millions. They paid a lot of money to Ben Stiller and Angelina Jolie, and they paid them a ton to do all sorts of things. No, they didn't. Okay, for those of you who believe that, they didn't. All right, it was made up by others. And should I go deeper into that? No, look it up, because I don't have time and I cannot keep up with it all. All right? I can only remember so much for any one of these rantcasts, and it is a ton that is pouring out now on a daily fucking basis. And that Congress, Mike Johnson, the head of the House of Representatives, Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson equals milquetoast. All right, I have never seen a better definition of milquetoast than this man. Okay, they would do the old joke, if you look up milquetoast in the dictionary, there's a picture of Mike Johnson. Well, it's pretty close to true. All right, he is truly Mr. Milk and Toast. Boy, nothing. They just stand by everyone. You Republicans are elected to Congress in order to do what your party believes in. Yes, but there comes a point where you have to do what your constituency believes in, and your constituency, pretty much, some of them are whole hog for what's happening, but a lot of your constituency out there isn't. But you can go from place to place to place. And none of these people can stand up and go, stop this bullshit. Yeah, let's bring on people who, God, Kash Patel coming up this week. I haven't got the energy. I haven't got the energy for crazy eyes. No, I don't. Oh, yeah. And then meanwhile, he's trying to dismantle the CIA. But what the fuck is going on here? When I was a kid, we were trying to dismantle the CIA. because we felt that they were watching us. They were literally not doing their job in terms of watching other countries. And now more than ever, when you need them to keep an eye on what terrorists, he's going to take them apart. For what reason, I don't know. I don't know how they offended him. But boy, he is going after everybody. Okay? And it's unbelievable, the retribution. Unbelievable that we're being governed by, partly being governed by his need for retribution. It's ludicrous, okay? And it's beyond belief. But it turns out that it was, if you took the numbers for the last election and you broke it all down, it's 30% of the American people voted for him, okay? 30%. And that's not a majority, all right? Because 70%, a lot of those 70% are so exhausted by the nonsense, they don't even vote anymore. So don't tell me it's a landslide when it was 30%, okay? And it was what? Let's say it's 28% for the Democrats. Not enough. Not enough, folks. Not fucking enough for government. That's for sure. And let's, and while we're on the subject of what goes on in Congress, hey, Democrats, you're screaming and yelling, boy, that Project 2025, you better vote against it. These people running against these people because they're going to bring in Project 2025. You had the ability to stop it, all right? Or at least tighten the goddamn brakes on things, all right? Since you seem to know better than us what was going to come down the pike. So why didn't you do something about it? Because you've got the power and you were elected to do something. And you didn't. You didn't even stand up. All you could say was, come on, go vote, go vote, go vote. No, you vote. You fucking write shit down, hand it to each other, then go, are we going to vote for this? Yeah. Yay. Didn't even do it. Did not even do it. Didn't even cross the aisles and try to get others to do it. Fuck you. Okay? So we're awash in fucking nonsense, bullshit, and hoo-ha. Son of a bitch, idiot's delight. God damn it. Son of a bitch. This is like, it's like living through the 60s as if the 60s were looking at a funhouse mirror. Whew. And I will probably repeat this if I remember, but unbelievably, it seemed to me today, what's hopeful? Look, as long as we go, and none of this has to do with being a liberal or conservative. It has to do with learning something when I was in civics class, okay? And living in Washington and knowing how at least minimally a government should be run, which is with separation of powers. And I'll repeat it until, there's no more breath in my fucking lungs. But that's what it's about. And it's not about, I've got to be able to get, I got to get this stuff done. I got to be able to cut funding. No. All right. Should we? Should we try to get the government to go on a budget? Yes. Can you not sit down together and figure that out? Does it have to be a slash and burn? Huh? Well, these crops, we ought to kill them all it's just, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted, and it's only just begun. And I hear the carpenters singing in the background. It's only just, stop, Lewis. Wow. And in the midst of it all, when it comes to picking folks who really are not, who don't have the resume for the jobs that our president wants them to do. Okay, they don't have the resume for it. Kash Patel coming up, Kristi Noem, a bunch of them, not in their resume. Hedgehog, who certainly doesn't know how to run an operation like that, of that size and magnitude. Not at all, nothing in his resume. But even more amazing is that Donald Trump says he's going to become he's going to run the Kennedy Center now. And he was pleased to announce that Rick Grinnell will serve as the interim, I guess, because Trump will become the interim executive director of the Kennedy Center. Rick shares my vision for a golden age, in capital letters, of Americans' arts and culture, and will be overseeing the daily operations of the center. And then in capital letters, no more drag shows or other anti-American propaganda. Okay, a drag show is not anti-American propaganda. A drag show has a huge and unique history. Kids watch it. Kids do not watch a drag show and say, oh boy, I'm going to be a cross-dresser, okay? All right? There's a history to it, and if you don't understand it, you're a fucking idiot, okay? And I mean that, all right? What kind of joy do you take by going after a community? Huh? It's if certain parts of the community take great delight in this, and what you're going to do is punish them for it, for fucking having fun, for enjoying themselves. It's just beyond. And then your other anti-American propaganda. I am sure I just appeared at the Kennedy Center a while ago. Before I couldn't go back on the road again, I appeared at the Kennedy Center. And I wouldn't have been able to appear there if he was in charge. Not at all. Because I'd be seen, it's bad enough that people see me as some sort of whatever it is that they constantly write into Twitter. And they don't even, now they just don't even care because I'm not sending this out to allow them to write their bullshit back. But I am, they see me, boy, you're so left wing, you're beyond belief. It's beyond disturbing. Really, you don't know what I am. Okay, by God, there's a certain conservative streak in me too. But when this bullshit happens, I end up looking like a madman. But my God, huh? Anti-American? No. 3 USO tours, fuckers. 3. And I would have done more, but there were other things that had to be done. And they certainly wouldn't send me out now. No more drag shows or other anti-American propaganda. Only the best. Because, you can't have a satire about America because that wouldn't be the best. Only the best, Rick. Welcome to show business. And if anybody knows that, it's our president. And there is no executive position at the Kennedy Center. Deborah Rutter currently serves as president of the Arts Institution. It's unclear what her status is. She announced plans to step down at the end of the year. She said that in January. And Grinnell served as the U.S. ambassador to Germany, acting director of national intelligence in Trump's first administration. And wow. So sure, why wouldn't he be in charge of the arts? We don't need woke at the Kennedy Center. This is, he defended his plans. This is Trump. I want to make sure it runs properly. We don't need woke at the Kennedy. Some of those shows are terrible. They were a disgrace that they're even put on. So I will be there until such time it gets to be running right. It's, what have they got there? Les Mis, the Legally Blonde, Sesame Street, the musical, the Sound of Music, so woke it is. It'd be Kathleen's favorite musical, for Christ's sake. Are you kidding me? In March, the center is hosting Earth to Space, Arts Breaking the Sky, with performances designed around exploration. And wow, it just goes on and on. And they asked him, if he'd seen any shows there, and he said no, but people told him about the shows. Just beyond my comprehension. This is beyond anything I ever imagined. On the most severe trips, or as stoned as I ever was. Nope. I'm going to take over the Kennedy Center and I'm going to show you how arts are, even though name a play he saw. I'd like to know one fucking play that he saw, Kennedy Center or not, anywhere. How long did he last? He didn't even last at the whole football game. Had things to do. And now he's yelling about Gaza. Are you serious? We're going to go into Gaza, but now he changes his mind every day about how he's going to do it. Really? Innumerable people, died there. And you're coming in telling them, well, I'm going to send them to, Lebanon and Syria, who don't want them. Egypt, who doesn't want them. No. Part of the problem, part of the reason there's a problem there. Okay? And they want to live where they want to live. That is their home. Okay? And for you to say, I'm not going to give them, I'm going to come in there, I'm going to make this place so beautiful, they're going to scream to want to come back. Fuck you. All right? It's catch-22 on steroids, what's occurring. That's what's happening. And that's just another thing. Just the 3,000th way I can describe what the fuck is happening out there. And then there's I can't believe this. This is like the beyond humor, but they were talking about about Mount Rushmore. And so they put together a bill in Congress that I didn't even look it up. It's true, apparently, that they want to get his face up on Mount Rushmore. Look, I could see putting Ronald Reagan's face up there, all right? Even though I don't agree with Ronald Reagan on a ton of stuff. It was kind of the beginning of where I found the source of my political comedy, where I realized that the Democrats were voting for Ronald Reagan stuff, and so both sides were full of shit. But at least but you don't pick. He's been in office 4 years and a month, and you want to put him on Mount Rushmore for what? Huh? For bringing in Hootsie Tootsie, for bringing in Elon Musk? Huh? The Doge? And if that doesn't sound like it's out of the 13th century with the Medicis, I don't know what does. And that's all I got. And next week I'll be trying to catch up with what the fuck is happening, and hopefully something that I can really nail with a beginning, a middle, and an end. Hopefully I can keep up with it, because I can't. And I want to, before I go, dedicate this Rantcast to a wonderful woman that I knew for quite some time, who passed away this week. And she was way too young, Ari Tinnen. And she was as sweet as any woman I've ever known, and as lovely, and brought a joy into the room that was infectious, and really was special, and dealt with a few things that kind of threw her for a loop, and it's awful. It was awful that her life was taken, and at a young age. She loved Los Angeles like nobody I've ever met, and we would fight about it. And moved back to Kansas City, and I grieve for her, and send my love to her family, who had been a special part of my life. And I hope she gets a better shake the next go around. Thanks for joining me today. As always, it's a privilege and a pleasure to spend time with you, and I think you'll be enjoying the rants that we put together for you to hear. Thanks for sending them in. Continue to do so, and I hope to see you somewhere down the road. Good night, Ari. Take care. Men, If you're losing your hair, it doesn't mean you can't find it again. Try Hims Hair Loss Solutions, and you'll be joining thousands who have found their hair again. Even though it's common amongst men, it can be hard to deal with hair loss. Hell, it's hard to talk about it for a lot of men, as they can feel insecure about how it makes them look or feel. Hims has allowed for men to seek help and restore their hair by accessing their personalized hair loss solutions. Hims provides you with convenient and quality access to a range of hair loss treatments that work, all from the comfort of your couch. Treating hair loss is simple with doctor-trusted options and clinically proven ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil that can regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. You can choose from personalized chewable, oral, spray, and serum treatments to find what works best for you. The process is simple and 100% online, so there are no uncomfortable doctor visits. All you have to do is answer a few questions, and a medical provider will determine if treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your treatment is sent directly to you for free. No insurance is needed, and one low price covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. Hims has hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, and they can help you get your confidence back too, with visibly thicker and fuller hair. So start your free online visit today at hims.com/Lewis. That's HIMS.com/Lewis for your personalized hair loss treatment options. hims.com/Lewis. Results vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Jeremy Jackson is ranting about his kids. His kids. What else is new? And maybe he's ranting about children in general, but let it rip, Jeremy. Hello, Lewis. I have 3 children, and I wonder at what age does common sense and critical thinking start to happen? Here is the exact conversation I had with my 14-year-old one morning that left me shaking my head. Son, Dad, we don't have a uniform for Carter. Youngest son. Me, in response, son, we just washed a boatload of clothing yesterday. Go check by the dryer. Son, oh yeah. 5 minutes later. Dad, we have pants for Carter, but we don't have a shirt. You all wear the same thing to school every day. Nobody has a shirt he can wear? Oh, yeah, never mind. We have a shirt for him. My response, critical thinking, son. 30 minutes later. Dad, we missed the bus. Can you come take us to school? Son, I'm working right now, and I'm really far away today, but why don't you go wake your mother up and ask her to take you to school? Oh, yeah, I'll go do that. Lewis, it felt like I was in the Twilight Zone or something. All he had to do is put a little thought to it. But no, he couldn't do that. All I could do is shake my head and go back to work. So your son asked you for a ride to school when you weren't even in the house? And you weren't there? All of this is probably why I don't have children, Jeremy. And thank you for reminding me. And I hope that helped you too. And some of the others out there whose children drive them crazy. Here's a little something from Donna J. She's upset, and rightfully so. Hi, Lewis. I need to say this because the combination of extreme irony and sheer stupidity is going to make my head explode. I'm looking for all of the tightest swim caps and other hats that I can put on to keep my brain inside my skull before I see this clip again. And it's too late to stop the explosion. 67 people died in the collision of an Army helicopter and a passenger jet over the Potomac. 67 people died. They died. It is a tragedy. Of course, some kind of error was made. Of course, there was an error. As I write this, we don't know the details of what went wrong. We actually still don't, since I'm reading this. But we're closing in on some ideas of those who were the experts. And an investigation will be done. Where does the irony come in? Pete Hegseth, the new Secretary of Defense, who has zero qualifications for his job, not a goddamn one other than the ability to stand upright and occasionally speak without drooling, is saying this won't happen under the Trump administration because they will only hire the best and the brightest. He is fucking smiling. The best and the brightest speaking to us right now is the proof that will not happen. He cannot even fix his face to reflect the tragic loss of life. Prior to him, we heard another Trump appointee explain the pattern, that's right, pattern that the plane and helicopter took. English is his first language, but pattern was too hard a word to pronounce. Shout out to the guy behind him in a different press conference who gave him a wide-eyed glance. You know that look. We don't know yet the root cause of this crash. I can guarantee that DEI had nothing to do with this tragedy. Meanwhile, the family, friends, and communities of 67 people are mourning. Could we have government officials with even the slightest bit of common decency and compassion? Is that too much to ask? Well, it seems to be it's going to be that too much to ask. It's going to be too much to ask for a while, Donna J. For a while. And I really appreciate you expressing your sentiments, getting them out to us. And I am really sure there are many out there who agree with you. And I would love to hear from those of you who think that this was the way to respond to it, seriously, and not some kind of poke Louis the bear. Like really, like if you really believe it. And I'm sure you're there. I am sure you're there. But thank you, Donna. Thank you. Once again, about the children, Christine Benthal had this to say. Do you know how aggravating it is when my husband and I want to go out and have a nice dinner only to have it be complete by someone's screeching child? No matter what kind of establishment we go to or where, it never fails. There's always some parent who insists on bringing their precious child only to have the inevitable happen. A toddler dramatic meltdown. All we want is to be able to have a nice dinner at a nice restaurant without the interruption of a child who has never been told no. And then it ruins everyone's dinner. We just want to eat in peace. Why can't we eat in peace? Why, I ask you? Because many adults are having children. And when they have these children, they have forgotten how to say no. You answered it yourself. I watch friends of mine, one in particular, but really one that I know of, and I've watched it around me. I had to stop. I couldn't go to dinner with him and his wife and the kid because the kid would just wander around the restaurant. I mean, wander. And they would walk behind the kid while we were eating. And the kid may not be screaming, but certainly was a distraction to anybody there, including myself, who'd gone there to spend time with my friends. I remember going to dinner when I was a kid with my parents, uh, and then if there were other kids there or even us, we were the end of the table, my brother and I. And if there were other adults, we were down there. And if we had acted up, wowie wow. But we never acted up because we were so excited to get a really great meal that we just went shh. So thank you, Christy. Thanks a lot. And thanks for the memory. This is not his name, obviously, Arthur Ritis. Oh, man. You could have said in your name, Arthur. Seriously. This is nothing that I've ever received before. And I cannot wait to share it with folks because no one has ever ranted about this, yelled about this, shared this, even just the idea of it, spoken about calmly. Arthur Ritis. God, what if that is really your name? What mean parents? But I did want to share it, and I will, even though you were afraid to give me your full name, and I don't understand that at all. All right, because you've done a nice job here, and I'm glad you're sharing it with everybody. Now, if every American should have a home, a car, a TV, then by God, they should also have a bidet. Well, double dick fuck, the Navy got it right and ordered a bidet. The U.S. government spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and what must be considered a military-grade bidet. I wonder how a military-grade bidet works. Perhaps a MIRS, that is, multiple independent rear end spray. Look, fellow poopers, just having a bidet at home it's not enough. Wherever I travel, I take my portable bidet with me. Do you have any idea of how hard it is to bring clamps, hoses, and tools and hook it up at every fucking hotel? Get with the program, excellent bombers. Demand a bidet in every bathroom. They go for less than $30 a pop, not $30 a poop. Okay? That is cheap enough to clean out everyone's doogie door. Wow. Do you think there would have ever been a toilet paper shortage if bidets were universally available? Only America thinks that it is better to wipe off the Nagasaki thermonuclear dump coming from your ass than to spray it off. When cleaning the siding on your house, do you use a towel or a hose? Think, Moby Dickheads, think. Despite toilet paper commercials featuring a bear family shitting in Goldilocks' abode commode, toilet paper does not make me enjoy the go. What the fuck? Aren't bears supposed to shit in the woods anyway? Since when did they get toilet trained? But I digress. Aren't you tired of cleaning shit the consistency of self-serve ice cream with sandpaper till you're bleeding? Just great. Now you have the red ass of a baboon. Not so if you demand that all travel stops, gas stations, restaurants, hotels, motels, stables, employers, friends' homes, police holdovers, government offices, and especially your obnoxious in-laws provide a power wash for your privates. Demand it. Every asshole deserves one, and that includes you, fuckwad. If you don't have it at home, then you are a double, no triple, decker peckerhead. Everyone can absorb the cost. Companies can raise their price a dime or a quarter a day and pay off the cost of the bidet in weeks. And underwear racing stripes and going to Costco, loading up on TP so everyone knows just how many craps you take. Besides, the cold water up your brown door will wake you up, clean you out, and get you on your way sooner. cleaner, and more carefree. Carefree. And what about constipation? Is your short stack stuck? A little hydrotherapy up the rear gangway will loosen it up, and the fudge monster will be set free. Look, Ma, no finger dabbing, no more Miralax or plastic nozzle therapy. For you fuckers in Arizona and California, you wasted too much water already growing food for the rest of us. You will just have to stick to pooper parchment. Well, I want to thank you, Arthur, and I don't know how many people will listen to the whole thing, but I thought it's well worth you sharing and that you've spent that time thinking about all this. Part of the problem I can tell you is if you're putting a bidet on in a hotel or in like the gas station on the way, or the public restrooms, that the rest area, they're going to get stolen, Arthur. That's what's going to happen. So that's part of the problem for it being everywhere. But I agree with you. I've been in a couple of places, and those moments I've spent with the bidet, I hate to say this, but it's true. It's been life-changing. Not enough for me to buy one, because that would require a setup, and I don't know if I'd get that right, and then I'd probably destroy my bathroom. So I'm just going to live with the problems. The problems that my own self-serve. Stop now. I'll stop, Arthur. You said it all. And thank you. And from our pal, Mildred Ellison, not a rant, just a piece of news I thought I'd share with you as a part of our the rear end programming that appeared today. Sometimes when you get one, they're all some of them become in the same direction. This is a variation on that theme, a little bit of a variation. Mildred, thank you for this. You're always on top of the news cycle. A 25-year-old woman from North Wales has been convicted of harassment after repeatedly sending videos of herself farting to her boyfriend's ex-partner in what has been dubbed Britain's first cyber farting case. Rhiannon Evans admitted to bombarding Deborah Pearturch with the messages, which were described in court as grossly offensive and indecent, causing significant distress. Her tooting, why would when you just turn it off, you don't have to turn it on. God, I mean, if it distressed you. Her tooting continued on Boxing Day and New Year's Day, despite police getting wind of what had happened. Oh. Prosecutors revealed that the videos featured Evans deliberately passing gas on camera, with some showing her smiling at the lens while doing so. The judge ruled that her relentless and distressing actions amounted to harassment. She later admitted that alcohol played a role in her actions. Ah, well, Mildred, thank you. Thanks for sharing. From Allie K. She's a little pissed, to say the least. Lou, what the actual fuck? Yes, I am screaming it. Where the fuck are the adults in the room? I cannot believe we are in the situation we are in. Well, fathom, I guess. The answer was obviously not the orange man child again. Fuck people. History 101. Believe people when they tell you who they are. I'm not sorry for the FAFO segment our country is about to face. Well, we are 9 days into this wannabe king's reign, and he's fulfilled all of his so-called I know nothing about Project 2025 goals for the first week. Wake the fuck up. He doesn't give a shit about anyone but himself. And those that will kiss the ring, those that will kiss the ring. A rapist, a racist, liar, and much more proven one. For the rest of the world, we're still fucked, okay? 89 seconds to midnight, the doomsday clock. Oh, wait, is that another fucking Taylor Swift song coming? And the fucking Chiefs in the Super Bowl for those trying to maintain some normalcy in American life? Fuck! I just want to be able to go to work, be a decent human being, aunt, sister, daughter, wife, pay my bills, actually laugh a lot, have sex with my husband, and live my life the fucking way I deserve to, with the same rights as anyone. And I believe that is what most people want. Fuck. Lou, is that really too much to ask for? If Jesus, or whoever is involved or not, whatever each person thinks, we are all one day going to find out. Fuck. I just wish people would realize we are all in this together. They will, because after there's this, there'll be an equal opposite reaction. That's the way it goes. Unless we're not allowed to have a reaction, which is more than possible. And I can understand why you're more than a little peeved, Allie. And I do think that's what most people laugh. I do think that's what most people want, is what you said, okay? To go to work, be a decent human being, pay the bills, actually laugh a lot, have sex with my husband, all right? And live my life the fucking way I deserve to, with the same rights as anyone. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's what people want. Take care of yourself, Allie. All right? Because it's going to be a long haul, I think. Maybe not. You never know. You never know. Thanks to all of you for listening to my Rantcast. If you have a rant you want to get off your chest, send it in to me at lewisblack.com/live. You can think of it as therapy, or whatever you want to think of it as. Just let it rip. And I want to thank the true stars of our show, the ranters, and the splendid rants they gave us. Lewis Black's Rantcast was created and hosted by me. Aha, Lewis Black. Our live rant audio was produced by James Salter. Our theme song by Chris Lane. Executive producer, Ben Brewer. Executive producers, Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly.